We're ready. Good morning. Uh, this feels very surreal to me. For those of you who are visiting, this is my last Sunday. So you're here to say hello and goodbye. And I would encourage you to get to know a few people here because this is a wonderful, wonderful community, which is what holds this fellowship together. Just briefly, the service this morning is called Traveling Mercies. Have any of you read Traveling Mercies by Anne Lamott? I would recommend it. Traveling Mercies comes from the African American Southern Baptist tradition, where when she was recovering from addiction, she found herself in an African American Southern Baptist, which wasn't her theology at all, but whenever she would leave, the ladies there would say, Traveling Mercies. So it's a greeting of extending blessings and good wishes to people who are on a journey, whether that be a journey of self-discovery or a journey together in a community or a journey of going somewhere. Since you all ask, we don't know, where's James? James is in the back. We don't know where we're going to end up yet, but that's okay, because with the generosity of family, we're going to land in Fort Worth, Texas, temporarily until he finds the dream job, and we have a safe, comfortable place to be with people who love us. You can't beat that. And but just know that we're fine, and we'll be doing fine. So, our board welcome this morning will be offered by Christopher Chase.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Christopher Chase, and I serve on your fellowship board of directors, as well as in the small group ministry, Persephone's Children. I want to thank you for being here today and extend a special welcome to any visitors. If you're joining us from home, please stay on after the service for our virtual coffee hour. Or if you're here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to come back next week for coffee and fellowship before the service. Except that we're switching to all virtual, right? Yes. So we're switching to all virtual for the month of July at 10 a.m. But please come back for our virtual service then next week. Sure, absolutely. Either way, these are ways you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits. If you would like more information about the fellowship, please sign our virtual guest book at uufames.org/guestbook. We have now entered the next chapter of reopening, where masks are no longer required, but instead are recommended, and where singing, food, and beverages are once again a part of fellowship life. We're still actively seeking volunteers for making coffee and providing treats on Sunday mornings. So, it's all right here. If you are able, please reach out to the office to volunteer. If you're not feeling well, we still encourage you to join us from home, but otherwise we look forward to seeing your faces here at the fellowship. And of course on Zoom too, both next month and afterwards if you prefer. I have two quick announcements today. One is that this afternoon at 2 o'clock, there will be here at the fellowship and also connected via Zoom, the Meditation and Buddhism community here is offering precepts to several of its members and also ordaining several of its members. And they invite everyone to join, to come support both in person and online through the fellowship schedule page, which will have the Zoom link. The other announcement I have is that Monday at 7 o'clock, the small group ministry Persephone's Children will be holding its solstice celebration here, and everyone is invited to come and bring food if you can. So yeah. So, on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you into this sacred space. Here we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand both mercy and traveling in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Every Sunday, we begin our service with the ringing of a chime 3 times. Once to wake the chime, once to open our minds, and once to open our hearts.
In the world of the driven, let us be drawn in. Let your love be a given, let us be drawn in. To imagine, to dream, to create, to redeem, for the sake of the living, let us be drawn in.
The chalice lighting this morning is by the Reverend Leslie Takahashi. And I want to point out that this was the chalice lighting that was offered in March in the last service before we closed for 2 years. So the words are rather profound and as meaningful as we regather. Walk the maze within your heart. Guide your steps into its questioning curves. This labyrinth is a puzzle leading you deeper into your own truths. Listen in the twists and turns. Listen in the openness within all searching. Listen. A wisdom within you calls a wisdom beyond you. And in that dialogue lies peace. We have some very, very special music for you this morning. We have the UUFA String Quartet, and they are going to play Canon in D by Pachelbel. Welcome, and thank you so much for playing. I'm so glad I ran into Jennifer at the grocery store like a couple of months ago, and she said, "Would you ever like a string quartet to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think we could work that out." So, thank you. In his book on saying goodbye, Edward White writes, "Why are goodbyes important? The transitions in our lives are often the most significant periods of growth. Leaving the womb, leaving home, going to college, one's first job, getting married, having children, receiving a promotion or a transfer, losing a loved one, facing suffering and death. These are the moments when we are stretched and challenged in new ways. The established patterns of life are overturned and we find new ways to cope. The predictability of life is replaced by uncertainty, and we experience vulnerability, fear, and exhilaration. If we make the transition successfully, we experience a new sense of capacity for living, a new sense of maturity and self-worth. We discover the mystery and wonder that by grace we can surrender the old and embrace the new. Yes, this is an important day. Yes, this is a significant transition. And yes, we're saying goodbye. Yes, there is challenge, vulnerability, unpredictability, and fear. But yes, there is wonder and satisfaction. There's sadness. There's joy and love. And yes, there is hope. Today's service is about saying goodbye and choosing to live in hope. That's especially difficult right now because of what happened last week. But we have to choose hope. We must work together, be together, protest together, rage together, sit in silence together, laugh together, cry together, and sing together. Abigail Bankson, you may remember the song, Keep Moving On. We're gonna keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving on. She's written a new protest song, which has taken flight at General Assembly and rallies all over the country this week, protesting the Supreme Court decision. Her message to all of us is this: sing it with me. Record yourself singing it. Pass it around. Don't forget who we are, how powerful we are together. We together will decide the future. Let's imagine it today. I hold you today, friends. So this is Abigail singing her song. It's a very simple piece that's repeated several times. The words will be on the screen with her. And if you feel like, no, sing. We're going to sing together. Put whatever you're feeling about last week into the song. And if you feel like standing up and screaming the words, that's okay too. But this is Abigail.
We will not, we will not, we will not be controlled. I am sovereign in my body. I am sovereign in my soul. We will not, we will not, we will not be controlled. I am sovereign in my body. I am sovereign in my soul. Sing it with me. We will not, we will not, we will not be controlled. I am sovereign in my spirit. I am sovereign in my soul. We will not, we will not, we will not be controlled. I am sovereign in my body. I am sovereign in my soul. We will not, we will not, we will not be controlled. Oh, I am sovereign in my body. I am sovereign in my soul.
The time for all ages this morning is very fitting after we sang this song. We sang the song together, and the book is called Together by Mona Damluji, illustrated by Innocento Nagara. This book will be in the library. One star shines as distant light, and when stars shine together, they make our galaxy. One bee wanders through my garden, and when bees work together, they are a colony. One bird calls into the wind, and when birds call together, they make a cacophony. One tree grows towards the sun, and when trees grow together, they make a canopy. One voice sings a tender song, and when voices sing together, they make harmony. One instrument plays an unforgettable beat, and when instruments play together, they make a symphony. One mountain rises to a mighty peak, and when mountains rise together, they are majesty. One wave is a surfer's dream, and when waves move together, they are an endless sea. One of us can make a home, and when we come together, we are family. One of us can love with all of our heart, and when we love together, we build community. One of us can speak up for justice, and when we speak up together, we create a world of possibility. A world of possibility. Don't give up hope. I'm sorry, I didn't greet our friends at home. No. Hi. Everybody just say hello to everybody at home. Hi, it's good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us from your homes, and I look forward to, wow, that's weird. I'll be here for a few more days, but anyway, I'm glad you're all with us here in Fellowship Hall as well. Our offertory for this month goes to the Prairie Rivers of Iowa, headquartered in Ames. It's a nonprofit focusing on both conserving our natural resources and building stronger businesses and communities. Through their management of the Lincoln Highway Heritage Byway, they not only protect the natural resources of the byway, but promote economic development of the communities along it. Other projects include support for school and community gardens, help for local food producers learning business skills to build successful farm-to-table businesses, support for outdoor classrooms, learning environments, and urban forestry. To learn more about this organization, please visit prrcd.org. For those at home or for you, you can go to the website, look to the Giving tab, and you can make your offering that way. Or if you'd like to leave cash or a check, there's a basket here to the right of the door as you leave the fellowship. All of the gifts received this month in June will be matched in full by UUFA member Irv Klaas. Thank you, Irv, for your generosity, and thank you all for your generosity in protecting the precious waters of Iowa.
I'm Kay Patek, and this is a reading by Rabbi Schoenwein called I Believe in Hope. These few words speak volumes about the way we can choose to face transitions and make the choice to remain hopeful. I offer them to you and encourage you during this time of goodbyes to choose and embrace hope. I believe. I believe in hope. I believe in hope that chooses self-respect above pity. I believe in hope that dismisses the petty fears of petty people. I believe in hope that feels distant pleasure as much as momentary pain. I believe in hope that acts without the guarantee of success. I believe in hope that kisses the future with the transforming power of its will. Hope is a choice, never found, never given, always taken. Some wait for hope to capture them. They act as prisoners of despair. Others go searching for hope. They find nothing but the reflection of their own anger. Hope is an act of will, affirming in the presence of evil that good things will happen, preferring in the face of failure self-esteem to pity. Optimists laugh even in the dark. They know hope is a lifestyle, not a guarantee.
I was so captured by her reading, I forgot to give you the words. Picture is Davis Pond in North Guilford, Maine, where I grew up and where I'll be spending some time real soon, I hope. Joy or challenge or gratitude. We'll start with the people in Fellowship Hall. If you have a milestone to share this morning, please come up to the microphone in front of the quartet, introduce yourself, share your milestone, and I will light a candle for you. I'm going to start. I'm going to use one candle for, well, no, I'll use two candles. I want to thank you for the party and your many greetings and good wishes last week. I confess I haven't opened the memory book yet or your cards because I didn't want to be in tears all week. And they will help me through this transition. I am just so thankful for you all. And thank you for that humbling affirmation last week and always. I would like you, I'm asking you to hold, you may remember the Reverend Kendall Gibbons, who is the minister in Kansas City, and she was at part of my installation and has preached here before. On Friday at General Assembly, she had a stroke. And they got her, it was remarkable, they got her so quickly to the hospital that she got the early treatment and she's going to be okay. It's going to be a slow recovery, her husband said, but so they'll be in Portland for a while. So please hold Kendall in your hearts that she will be with you again here soon and with her home. Other milestones, please come forward.
My name is Sue Kierson, and today is my birthday. Now, no, I want to tell you something else. This is a birthday that I've long thought deserved a grand gesture, you know, a trip to Paris, something. And now the day has come, and here I am in my traditional Sunday place. And it feels great. It feels great. Thanks to this community, to all of you being here this morning, and to the special occasion that I'm sharing with Kent.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
I'm Mary Richards, and I have been spending the latter part of this week and will be spending part of the afternoon in Portland, Oregon, thanks to the multi-platform General Assembly. It has been a wonderful experience. They have made the National Association so much more available to all of us. They have put in place a no money delegate provision so that any congregation anywhere, no matter what their financial resources, can participate in the national organization of our community. Things are really changing, and the GAs will be multi-platform from now on. So I hope that even if you can't go to Pittsburgh next year, which is where it's going to be, you will seriously consider being there online. It's just been really great.
And had you been part of General Assembly, you would have heard Ibram X. Kendi speak.
Good morning. I'm Molly Helmers. First, I want to say that our Matt and I's daughter Grace is having spinal fusion surgery this week, so keep her in your thoughts. We'll be in Iowa City. And also, I want to let Kent know, you can't see, but there is a deer wandering on the hillside, and it seems particularly fitting since I remember one service many years ago where the deer kind of stole your thunder. So if we're all looking that direction, it's not because we're bored with your final service. We're just distracted by nature's beauty.
It's just part of life as the minister to this congregation when you're giving a sermon and all of a sudden everybody out there goes. So there have been times that I just stopped and said, should I look? And yeah. So I am not, one of the draws to this congregation 10 years ago was that the majority of the people in this congregation found their understanding and connection to the divine through nature. There it is, right outside your window. Okay.
Hello all, I'm Christopher Chase, and I need to share two milestones, one that is bringing us challenge and one that is bringing us joy. One is, and some of you know, that about a month ago, we lost our beloved Corgi, about 8.5 years old, very suddenly, and we're still kind of wrestling with that, certainly. And so that's bringing us challenge. In this moment, though, yesterday, my wife Christy and I celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary, and that's bringing us great joy to many, many more years.
Congratulations.
I'm Nancy Tepper. I also have two milestones. One was, on the face of it, rather mundane. My cell phone died, completely froze up, dead, according to all experts. And I was without a phone at all for 3 or 4 days, well, 4 or 5 days, and that it's a long story, but it escalated down, and I had no access to internet either, and I was really cut off, except for driving to somebody's house. And I, you know, it really makes you realize how dependent we are, and I really miss the connections. The other thing is that for 46 years, the last 46 years of my life, I have had a pet of one sort or another. A few months ago, my cat, Max, died, and he was old, and that was expected, and in fact, probably we should have let him go sooner. But about a week and a half ago, my last cat, Oliver, unexpectedly took a nosedive, and he is gone as well, and he's the cat I had a special connection with. So for the first time in 46 years, I have no pet. I am thinking of getting another cat, but it is a real change. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lily. I just, I didn't even. With everything going on this week, I didn't even want to come today. And meeting some of you here and being able to be here for the last time with Kent was about the only thing that made me turn it around and get out of bed this morning, because I fear what could come down the road. That said, I still have quite a bit of joy for the fact that my first Pride Month out was quite successful. I finally came out to my very devout grandparents. I started hormone therapy, and I fully came out. Work everywhere knows now. And the response so far has been very overwhelming in quite a positive fashion. So I'm just quite thankful for that, and that actually was what made me just want to get out of bed this morning. So thank you.
We'll now make the transition to invite our friends at home to share milestones. It is a transition that takes a minute or two. So while folks at home, you'll get a message in chat when they have the technology ready for you. And those here, let's take a moment to breathe together. And breathe out.
Hi, this is Matt Ferris coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. This is going to sound like an announcement, but it's really a milestone. Next week, I'll be offering content for the Sunday service. And while my mentor, Reverend Kent, told me that the titles of sermons shouldn't be sermons, my proposed title is The Problematic Truth of Religious Diversity. Sort of academic, probably didactic, contemplative meditations emphasizing the necessity for our beloved community to honor real wisdom, diversity, and genuinely respect the pluralism of the worlds and realities that are our way of living toward divine union. In large part by generating better philosophies of religious care with one another. Or this Divinity School's first and hopefully not last gig for the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Ames. May the gods bless it and be. See you next week. It's really about love.
Subtitle, Introducing Matt.
Hi, I'm Irv Kloss. There are strange things done on the midnight sun by those who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. And the Northern Lights have seen strange things. The strangest thing they ever did see was the night I cremated Sam McGee. So if you want to hear the full poem, that's just the first stanza. Come to the Prairie Rivers fundraiser at the Alluvial Brewery on the 15th of July. And you can bid on a full evening with me reading Robert Service's poetry and other poetry. So we'll also share some stories. So hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Good morning. This is Ralph Gandy. I don't see myself, so I'm going to assume I'm on. I'd like to light a candle in celebration of a milestone that we reached on Friday, which is our 50th wedding anniversary. Thank you all very much, and I'm done.
Candle is for all of those milestones that we carry quietly and preciously in our hearts. Whatever brought you here today to this place, or to join us from your homes, whatever you carry today, know that in this community of love, you never have to make the journey alone. We're in this together. Let's be together in a moment of silence. It's good to be together. Once again, we'll hear from the UUFA String Quartet, who'll play Spirit of Life.
This reading are excerpts from Traveling Mercies by Anne Lamott. There's a lot of excerpts. So. Sam and I were on the beach at San Quentin on the morning of his 8th birthday. He was having a party that afternoon at our best friend's house. Sam at 8 is fantastic, utterly magic. His spiritual views are changing. Sometimes he says he doesn't believe in only Jesus now. He says, I believe in all the gods now. But that may be just to torture me. I'm not concerned yet. So there we were, my 8-year-old boy and I, building something or other. It had begun as a castle, but had morphed into a woolly mammoth-shaped birthday altar with turrets. We spelled out his name on the sand in the center of the structure, with letters made from tiny broken white shells. We stuck feathers, seaweed, beach glass, and shells in the turrets and humps. Sam really has a gift for making things out of next to nothing. He has magic in those little monkey fingers. Sam and I had built huge ramparts around our castle and had dug a moat to keep out aliens and bad guys. He looked so lost and so found in his work on the beach, his vision so clear and focused. His art springs out of bubbling underground necessity, as if he's somehow dipping himself into the river that gave him life. He's making dream material visible. I watched him carefully. He was making art because he has to, and because he's brave enough to try and make contact right there on the edge of madness, where he dreams. We have to go, I told him. The party at our friend's house was going to start in an hour or two. No, he wailed, we can't. What about our creation? We can't just leave it here. We have to stay and protect it. We worked so hard on it. The waves will come and wash it away. Honey, I said, it was never meant to be permanent. You must have known the tide would come back in. He thought about this for a minute. I'm going to kick it all over then, he said. And I hate you, he added. And I hate everything. I didn't say anything. He walked away from me and the altar, world-weary, shuffling with dejection, head down. Sam, I wanted to explain, making the altar was a way to celebrate, to honor you today. The fact that it's going to wash away heightens how wonderful our making it was. The altar didn't hold as much animating spirit as our making it did, and gathering the choices. It's like we made it, we love it, oops, it's gone. The best part is still there. Of course, I didn't say any of this. And he didn't, in fact, kick his birthday altar over. Sometime later, he came back to where I lay and asked me if we could stay just a while more. I said yes, sure, and smoothed some sand off his face with my fingertips. He let me and then walked off again. I lay back down and closed my eyes, and I guess I must have fallen asleep. Because later, still, he was tugging at my sleeve until I opened my eyes and sat up. He had his fists balled up, concealing something, and he wanted me to guess which hand the secret was in. I tapped the left fist, and he unfurled his fingers to reveal an oval of soft pink beach glass. Wow, I said, picking it out of his small palm. The glass was polished from the sea, and I put it in the pocket of my shorts. Thank you, I said, and he shrugged. Then he actually chucked me under the chin, like one of my uncles used to do, and ran off again to the shore. The waves haven't come for my smooth glass yet. In the meantime, it is right here in the front pocket of my jeans I'm wearing now. I reach into my pocket for it a lot. It helps me write in a mysterious way that I don't at all understand. But what I want to say is, happy birthday, Sam. Samuel John Stephen Lamott. and traveling mercies too. I can't help but say again what I said on the beach that day, in a whisper this time, and without even being exactly sure to whom I'm saying it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
John Corrado's voice still and small.
Ooh, ooh, voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain. Still you remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing, voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing, in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
We're saying goodbye today. It's not easy. People have different styles and approaches to saying goodbye. And how we say goodbye makes a difference. In the piece by Anne Lamott, Sam knew that he and his mother would have to leave the beach that day for his birthday party. He didn't know when, and he didn't know that he would be having such a wonderful time building beautiful sand castles, living on the edge of affirmation. When that moment of realization arrived, that knowledge that, yes, the experience was finite and coming to an end, the beautiful castle would be lost to him forever. That moment was painful. The pain morphed through a process that is familiar to many of us. Denial. No, we can't leave. Anger. I hate you. I hate everything. Bargaining. Can't we stay just a little longer? Depression. Acceptance. Hope. A classic example of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's stages of grief. Within the simplicity of Lamott's beach story, we find the elements of a healthy process of leaving something behind. They're all there. The mother-son relational process begins from a place of openness, vulnerability, and acting from a place of love. Oswald invites us to think about the last social gathering we attended and how we left. How did we say goodbye? What was the process leading up to it? What were our behaviors in leaving? So let's just take a moment of intentional silence. Intentional as you remember. How did you leave the most recent social gathering you were at? And how did you say goodbye? that most recent social departure may offer similarities and deeper insights into the saying goodbye process and your personal histories. Like the first time leaving family for an overnight trip, permanently moving away, or the loss of a loved one, moving to another community. Try to recall the steps that helped you find closure. Try to remember the cliches, the body language, the promises, the questions, the shared reactions. Oswald believes that the implications of this theory are mind-boggling. We have a set pattern of disengaging with people. We will run this pattern when we say farewell to a casual acquaintance, when we say goodbye to the deer. It's okay. It couldn't be better. We're going to pause intentionally right now and look at the deer. Okay. I wonder what their process was. Oh, probably the grass is greener over there. We have a set way of disengaging with people. And we run this pattern with goodbyes to casual acquaintances at the time of death, by leaving a congregation. And by looking at these patterns, we can become more aware of the choices we make and how we might adjust and find healthier consequences and outcomes when we say goodbye. In preparation for today, I reflected on how one of my best friends from Maine, who now lives in New York City, and I have made a ritual of saying goodbye by intentionally not saying goodbye to each other. First, we developed the habit of always saying, when it was time for bed, we'd say, well, see you in the morning. And sometimes and somehow that way of saying goodnight evolved into the way that we say goodbye at the end of every visit. Well, see you in the morning. Said with a knowing smile that our friendship will survive another parting. Now, this might sound like avoidance, but it really is the final step in a series of patterns and exchanges, verbal, facial, and physical, that always occur during our too infrequent visits. The process is virtually the same. We engage each other while exploring our surroundings wherever we are. Photographs are taken. There are long periods of silence and awareness of each other's presence. The past is remembered. The present is celebrated. New life developments are shared. Plays and poetry read and discussed. Much laughter. Much silence. Celebration, a discussion of what's in store for next for each of us. And an essential and awkward hug. He's not a hugger. It's obvious, but it happens. And near the close of the visit, the very difficult feelings around our separation are mentioned briefly, usually the day before not saying goodbye, and are always shared in the spirit of a hopeful future. See ya in the morning. This is typical of my process, not the wording, the process. Awareness of the situation, not avoiding the eventual, allowing room for difficult feelings, giving thanks, celebration. The same is true for our saying goodbye today, with one difference. While our ministerial relationship is significant and one of radical love, it's different than a deep friendship. In his Berry Street lecture at the 2000 General Assembly, the Reverend Dr. Mark Morrison Reed said, "The relationship of minister and parishioner has the qualities of a friendship," and it does. But no matter how warm and deep, authentic and reciprocal the relationship is, it's not a sustainable friendship. Why? because it's built upon an unavoidable imbalance. The minister is always more responsible for the relationship. When necessary, we must be prepared to forsake the role of friend for that of minister and ready to choose the well-being of the whole community over the individual. When our ministries come to an end, so must the relationships, lest we take up space for the next ministry and its needs if it is going to take root. Learning how to say goodbye in the context of ministry is one of the most difficult challenges of this profession. Hard stuff. It's been 10 years since your last interim minister. A lot has changed in you and in interim ministry since then. And I'm asking that you let go of your memories and worries about interim ministry. I heard your reaction last week when someone said, well, Kent came to us after a difficult interim ministry. I did. And you know what? We got through it together. And you need to know and welcome Reverend AJ as a minister who's had specialized training that's evolved in the last 10 years and who's excited to work with you carefully through goals to discover who you are and what you want for your next shared ministry. Just as we have learned together, you and Reverend AJ will benefit from each other's wisdom, experience, and love for this fellowship. Love for this fellowship. And you'll do it together, just as we did it together, to create a world of possibility here at UUFA and beyond. Like Sam Lamott leaving his work of focus and vision on the beach, I've been feeling a whole range of emotion from grief to celebration over the last few weeks. Heck, over the last few minutes. We have been open and vulnerable with each other. And it's important for you to know how much I love you. Hear this. I said goodbye to the Laconia congregation after serving them for 2 years. And I still think of them every week. I served as your minister for 10 years. Wherever I go, you will be with me in my heart and in my mind. Like the sea glass in Anne Lamott's pocket, your presence in my mind and heart will be a source of remembrance, hope, and love, for which I too can only respond. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Patty Lawrence was my advisor, teacher, and mentor at Starr King School for the Ministry. In one of our last conversations before her retirement, Patty shared that ending her professional career felt like getting to the edge of a cliff and stepping off, knowing that there would either be feet to fall on or wings to fly. I can still hear her laughing, and I can hear her urging us on. Here we are at the edge of the cliff, friends. We will land safely, and we will fly. When I completed my student ministry in Kansas City, I asked my mentor, the Reverend Jim Eller, if he had any final words of advice. He said 2 words: embrace ministry. We've done that together. A minister cannot do that alone. We have to embrace it together. Embrace ministry, 2 words, deceptively simple with a profound depth of meaning. For in order to truly embrace ministry, we must embrace life. The whole incredible, mysterious spectrum of life. Embrace ministry. Embrace life. Traveling mercies, dear ones. Life calls us on. Amen, and blessed be. Body and our spirit, and we'll sing together, Life Calls Us On, with the words by Kendall Gibbons and music by Jason Shelton.
Take courage, friends.
The way is often hard.
The path is never clear.
And the stakes are very high.
Take courage.
For deep down,
There is another truth.
you are not alone.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow bring us wise into all our lives and eyes. Love calls us on. Love calls us on. Words and deeds of those before us, waken here to keep us strong. Blend our voices in the chorus of creation's very song. Courage bids us lift our arms upwards to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on.
Take courage, friends.
Take courage, friends.
Take courage, friends.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
Loyal guides in love and beauty, lead us with the trust in love. Blessed are they whose inward beauty shows the path of truth and right. Honor is their earthly prize. By their works we realize they gracious power. Freedom woods that yet shall be. Bright the path before us lies. Joyful pilgrims now we rise, like walls of snow, like walls of snow, like walls of snow, like walls of snow. Like walls of snow, like walls of snow.
The chalice extinguishing words are by the Reverend Orlando Brugnola. As we move through life, finding ourselves always newly wise and newly foolish, we ask that our mistakes be small and not hurtful. And we ask that as we gain experience, we do not forget our innocence, because they are both part of the whole. Thank you for remembering our offertory recipient this month and other important initiatives for this congregation. Thank you for your generosity. And thank you for being here today on this beautiful Sunday. And thank you for 10 years that I'll always remember. Traveling mercies, friends.